No. Oh, I'm on the wrong daf again. The daf ahead. Time is Mincha Ma'ariv tonight.
7:05.
Okay.
That's late. Shkia 7:10, 11.
7:12. 7:12 today.
7:12. All right. Well, okay, let's go. Let's get rolling on it. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Zog the Mishnah. Yeah, on Chafayim Bay is on the bottom. So matzah begal ubekaisel yashan. If you find something in a pile of stones or on an old wall, harei shaloi, they are his. Right? Because it's assumed that the guy is miyayish. He gave up on it. Right? Matzah bekaisel chadash. If he finds it in a new wall, so michetzu l'chutz shaloi. If it's from half towards the outside, it belongs to him. Michetzu l'fnim shabal abayis. From the one half towards the inside, it goes to the balabayis. Right? So it depends on which, meaning we're assuming that if somebody stuck it into the wall from the street, so it'll be on the half of the wall that's towards the street. If it was the balabayas that stuck it in, so I'm going to assume that it's only the wall. It's from the balabayas. I mean, this is a common shaila in Hashavas Aveda. Let's say you rent out your house to others. Even if you find the lost item inside the house, it still belongs. It still belongs to him. All right. So the Mishnah is saying three different things here. You find it inside a wall. You find it inside a wall and or a pile of stones, then you have to then you keep it. Right? And that's the middle case is you find it in a new wall, depends on which half it is. And the last case in the Mishnah is if you rent out your house to others and then you find lost items in the house, so then it belongs to him. Right? He gets to keep it. So meaning this is if you have an Airbnb, this is for you, Elio, right? If you have an Airbnb and you find lost items in there, the assumption is that you get to keep it. Or if you're a new tenant and it's like a hotel or an Airbnb and you find something there, then the assumption is that the person who left it there is miyayish, and therefore you're allowed to keep it. And we'll see more in the Gemara about that. Very interesting, because you could say the guy who finds it, the guy who discovers this lost thing, can say that this lost item is there since the Amorim. Meaning the Amorim were in Eretz Yisrael. So, and he could say, "This is not yours. This is here from who knows how long ago." So the Gemara says, "Amorim, it's Mitzani
So the
Yisrael
wall was there from
Mitzani."
the time of Yoshua?
Maybe that's a good point. That's a good point. Say, why not? If the wall stood from Yeshua's time, so why couldn't it? I don't need. Why couldn't this wall stand there from them? But yeah, that's the Gemara's assuming, right? Which is very interesting. I think really the Gemara's kavana here. Thank you. I think the Gemara's kavana here is more like the guy has to prove that it's not a lost object. Right? And if it's not a lost object, then meaning if it's not definite a lost object, meaning if it's not definitely his, then it's considered a lost object and he has no right to it. Correct. So that's what it's saying. It's of the Emorium. The Gemara says, "But what kind of taina is that? Ato Miriam Mitzani Yisrael Mitzani? Do Emorium hide the hide things in Yidden and Yidden don't hide things?" Hold on a second. Yeah, so do the Emorium hide things Yisrael don't? Like Tzrichas, the Gemara says, the Shasich Tvei, it's talking about where it was very rusty. So since it was very rusty, Memela, we know that it's been there for a very long time. So we're going to assume that it's so long that it's from when the Emorium were there. Okay, again, it's difficult to understand exactly what the Gemara means with all this. But okay, fine. Then the Gemara says, "Because chadash mechetzer lechutz shalom mechetzer lefnim shabal habayis." So from halfway towards the inside, it belongs to him, and the other half it belongs to the balabayis. The inside half goes to the balabayis, and the outside half goes to the guy who found it. Some of Ashi sakina basa kato v'kisa basa shanse. A knife goes, meaning when you have a knife. So which part are you going with? The knife part or the handle part? So Gemara is saying you go with the handle. Meaning this is talking about, like, the way you pass them when somebody asks you to pass them a knife. So do you how do you pass them a knife? Do you hold onto the handle and let them make them put their hand out to get the blade? No. Now you don't do that. So what you do is you hold onto the blade. So that's a question. Which way do you stick the knife into the wall? So we're saying that the knife goes with the handle. The kisa and a kiss, a wallet, basar, shanse goes with its straps. It goes with the straps. So whichever way the straps are, that's where it goes. The Gemara is saying, "Vela masnisen." We have a kasha from our Mishnah on this. The Ketani mechatzi luchutz shaloi mechatzi ftim shabal abayis. Right, from half towards the outside it's his. From half towards the inside it's balabayis. V'lefzi ikata lagavi kata lavar. So for whatever reason, the Mishnah assumes or thinks we're talking about a knife and a wallet in our Mishnah. The Gemara says, so why are you saying that it's half and half? Why don't you just see in which direction this thing was put into the wall? If the handle is going towards from the inside, so it belongs to the owner. If the handle's going towards the outside, then it belongs to the guy who found it. Right? And the same thing with the wallet. So again, ikata lavar, shanse lagav, shanse lavar. I'm sorry, it's again, let me just go back. Why don't we see if the handle's towards the inside or the handle towards the outside? Right? Or whether the straps are towards the inside or towards the outside. Then the Gemara answers, our mission is not talking about a knife and not talking about a wallet. It's talking about some what do you call it, like feathers, which you can't tell, or some nasra, which is a bar of silver, gold, the bar of precious metal, right, or any metal. So you can't tell. Obviously, on a bar, there's no way to tell which side is which. So therefore, it's not. That's not what our mission is talking about. But enochanami. Right? But if taka would be a knife or a wallet, then we would decide who it belongs to based on the halves, on which half, meaning based on which side in the half it's going. The Gemara says pshita, sartana, but if the wall is full of these things, or whatever it was, let's say a guy stashed I don't know, schnapps. He's trying to hide the schnapps from whatever. When people say he stashed all the schnapps inside the wall. So let's say find the wall full of schnapps. So therefore you don't say it goes one to the other. We just say they should split it, right? So when it says pshita, it's pasha. They should split it. What's the chiddush? One answers like tzricha the meshapa bechad gisa. that the wall is leaning towards one side, either that it's leaning towards the inside or it's leaning towards the outside. The same So you would think, okay, so it went towards that hole, meaning and you would go, and what's going to happen is you're going to say that one or the other is gonna be the one that claims it, right? So Kamash Malan, that we don't go with that, and we're not. We still, even though it seems to be tilted in one direction, we still say that they split it, right? Okay, fine. Weiter. If you lend it to somebody else, then meaning you rent out your house, then whoever finds it keeps it, right? You come into an Airbnb and I mean, it's a common question. The spices, I don't know if Airbnb is officially give spices, but that's the most common question. Can you use the spices? Most people are asking out kashrus. They're not asking out. They're not asking out getting out whatever hashavas aveda geneva. But the bottom line is you find something in Airbnb. So the Mishnah is saying whoever finds it keeps it. So the Gemara says, "V'amai lezel pasal basra." Why don't we go after the last person who was there, which Tosfos explains means the owner, right? It should go to the owner, right? With what meaning? Why should it go with the last guy there? And the last guy is obviously the owner. We learn in the Mishnah, money that's found in front of people that rent out behemoths, meaning the behemoth rentals, la'olam meiser, that money is meiser. Meaning if you're in Yerushalayim and you find money, so what happens is many people have meiser sheni. Meiser sheni is that you have to take your fruits and you have to bring it to Yerushalayim. It's usually too much fruit. You got to take 10% of your food, you got to eat in Yerushalayim. So it's usually too much fruit. So what do? You take the money and you take the fruit, you put it onto money, and then you bring the money to Yerushalayim, and then you buy. What most people did is they bought meat for a carbon shlomim. Right. So now you find money in Yerushalayim. The question is, what type of money is that? So first, it's saying that the money that's found in front of the Behema store is always Meiser, because we're assuming that most money that gets spent in Yerushalayim is Meiser money. Harabayis, if it's found on Harabayis, it's Chulin. Go figure that, right? On Harabayis, though, it's Chulin. We Yerushalayim, and in Yerushalayim, B'shari Moisashana Chulin. On other days of the year, it's Chulin. B'shas Haregel, I call Meiser. But by Yom Tif, when everybody's coming up, they're bringing all their Meiser money. So then everything is Meiser. Now the Gemara explains why this is. V'amar Shmaya bar Zeira, my timer. What's the reason? Why? What's the reason for all this? So Hayil v'shvake Yerushalayim asuyin l'schabed b'chol yom. Since the shuk, right? The streets of Yerushalayim get swept every day, right? So therefore, we're assuming that since it gets swept every day, then if it fell, then it would have gotten swept up. So now that we have new ones, so the new ones must be that it's regular money, right? Okay, so how come the Harabayis you don't say the same thing? So Rashi says the Harabayis wasn't swept every day because there's no dirt in Harabayis, or much less dirt. First of all, because Harabayis is on a har, so slanted, so all the dirt makes its way down, and people don't wear shoes on the Harabayis. So for those two reasons, the Harabayis was not dirty enough to require sweeping every day. That okay, so that's why we're saying during the rest of the year it's chulin, but during Yom Tov time, even though they sweep it every night, but most of the money is from mice. Alma. So what does the Gemara want with this? Alma amrinan kamay azlu v'hani achrinin. We always say whatever was there first goes, and these are new ones. These are somebody else. Hachanami kama azl. The first things left by the people that were in the Airbnb before went away. V'hani debasruhu. And These are again, this is assuming that the balabas also lives in the Airbnb, sort of like he rents out rooms. Bahani the basra, so these are also considered of the basra, right? So meaning, which again, like Tyson says, is the owner. The assumption is the owner was the last guy there. Meaning, just like in Yerushalayim where they sweep every night, we say that the money is chulin money. So why not every night a person, usually people after one tenant leaves, they clean the house. So then if there's something found there, it should automatically be accepted that it's from the person, the last person who was there, who was the balabayas. So that's the kasha. It's talking about where it just wasn't one family, 3 families rented out, sort of like Mexicans. Well, Mexicans will be the next terrace. Right, so where the 3 families were living in this place. So Mamela, he would have no idea who it fell from. Right? So that's yeah, so because there's 3 people there, the one of the guys that drops it is gonna say, okay, how am I gonna get through to these 3 guys? And Mamela, nobody's gonna admit what they're doing. If they found it, they didn't find it, so he's meyayish. The Gemara says, "Shema minu Allah Rav Shimon Elazar afilu b'Rav Yisrael." Do we hear from this that the Allah is like Rav Shimon Elazar even b'Rav Yisrael? Remember, we spent about a blot and a half discussing this din of Rav Shimon Elazar, who says that even something that has a siman, if it's lost in a place, in a public place, then he does not have to be returned. The Gemara's shaila was, does Rav Shimon Elazar say in a public place of Yidden, who are normally more honest, or in a public place of Goyim, who are not? So then we went back and forth with different rayas, whether it means Goyim, doesn't mean Goyim, and whether the Rabbanan disagreed with Shimon Elazar. Whatever it is, if you're going to say this, that there's 3 people there, some of Mela were saying that you're meyayish because it's 3 people. Right, so must be that we pass like Rav Shimon Elazar that 3 people is 3 people is considered a rabbim. Must be we pass like Rav Shimon Elazar that a rabbim is miyayish. You're miyayish from a rabbim, and it means even by a rabbim of Yidden, because the assumption is that the people here we're talking about are Yidden. Talking about where he had 3 goyim renting out his Airbnb, right? Which Rashi points out that doesn't mean that you need to have 3 goyim. It could even be 1 guy. Meaning if it's 1 guy, the guy's automatically going to be miyayish. That's why he's saying 3 goyim, just because it's said a teretz by 3 yidden, so we're saying 3 goyim too. Right? So that's the first teretz, that he's miyayish for different reason. It's talking about 3 goyim or 1 guy, 3 yidden, but we don't like the teretz of yidden because otherwise it makes a psak of Rosh Hashanah. So we say it's talking about goyim. Fine. Rav Nachman has a different teretz. It's even talking about 3 yidden. My timer, ahu the nafal minei miyayish. The one that it fell from is miyayish. Meimar Amar, because you're going to say now here again we get into some sort of psychology of people who drop things and lose them. You can even say it's Omar where there's 3 different yidden living in his Airbnb. My timer. What's the reason? Why is he miyayish? He's going to say michti. There was no other. The meaning, he's going to say, there was no other people there except for these 2 guys, right? 3 altogether. Amri Kamayu. They're going to. He said. I said in front of them, Kama zimni lahaduli. I said many times to return it to me. But they didn't give it back to me. And now they're gonna give it back. Now they're gonna give it back. All of a sudden they're gonna become tzaddikim. I asked them already if they found my lost item, and they said no. Anita Tayla Adure, Adure Neli. If their das was to give it back, then they would have given it back. But the Tayla Migzala. It's in their das to steal it. So
Can I
Mameli
ask
he's
you something?
miyayish.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's chazaka that roiv people don't steal.
There's a
But he asked
chazaka that
them.
Roif.
He asked them, and they said no, they don't have it.
So we're assuming
He
they're
asked them-
liars?
What do you mean? If I ask you if you found my wallet, I saw you in this. We were together in shul, and I said, "Did you find my wallet?" You say no, so I'm not supposed to believe you.
We asked them, or we assuming?
He
He's
asked
assuming-
them. No, he asked them in their presence if they could. Can they return it to him? And they said no.
Kamar similarly, Veloya durly. We're assuming since they didn't return it, so must be that they're stealing it.
I'm not sure that that's all the Gemara is saying. It could be the Gemara is saying there's a choice now. Either it's taka lost, and it's already time to give up. And if it's not lost, then they have it. They told me to my face, I'm not returning it. Then what does he want?
But he's not saying, the Gemara is saying that you're not sure. You're not sure
The
since
other
he.
side is Pasha. The other side is Pasha. If he can't find it, and they didn't find it, it's gone. What's he supposed to do? Hope for a nace? It's gone. It's lost. He's lost it. We're only going on the other side now. On the other side that it's not lost, and someone did find it. Well, if they told me they're not returning it, they're not going to return it. I'm still not getting it back.
They're denying that they ever had it.
Right. So
So
either
Mameli
way,
he's miyayish that they're ever. Now I guess he's not chaysha that they're going to listen to an inspirational, lost and found shir or something. How great it is, right? And I guess we're not chaysha that somebody's going to do that, right?
even if he does, we're not. We want people to do tshuva, but we're not going to be miyayish al tzad that in the next few days he's going to do tshuva.
Yeah, but there is a chazaka that roiv people are not gazlan.
Chazaka and roiv are two different things. It's either a roiv or a chazaka.
Okay, whichever one is stronger.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one I understand where the guy's coming from, but he doesn't believe that they'll, find anything. All right. Right. The was the Rav Nachman l'tamei, and Rav Nachman goes according to his reason. Damar Rav Nachman Ra Sela Shenofal on to Amid Beis now Shenofal Mishnayim. You'd say you see something actually fall from two people. All right. Chayav Lachzer. There's a lot of very, very practical halachos of Shabbos Aveda now on this stuff, on this Amid Beis. So you see it fall from two people. Chayav Lachzer, you have to give it back. By my timer.
He sees two people walking. What does that mean? He sees
yeah,
two
so
people
Rashi, Tosfos says that they both are saying at the same time. Right? That's the way Tosfos explains it.
What did he see? He saw something drop from one of the two people. Not that he saw both of them drop something.
He said it's from both. It's one of the two people.
No, it fell from one of the two.
Correct, not from both.
Right.
Right.
It fell, yeah, but they're both pining on it.
Who said that?
Right?
How do you
They're
know
both-
that? How do you know
Tosfos
that?
is saying. Tosfos says, "Shneim bikshu yachad, koydem shebazeh motza," meaning both of them are looking for it. No, they're both looking for the item. No, I mean, I don't know what. And let's say only one of them was looking, then the chayra goes to him, right? That's what it's mashma like that from Tosfos. But either way, he sees it fall from one of two guys. So Chayiv Lachzer, he's got to give it back. My time, who did enough of me loy meyayish, because the guy it fell from is not meyayish. Meimaram is going to say, Michti, there were only two of us here on this street. The whole day, I guess, there were only two of us, let's say. Now, Kitnale, Paminale, so I'm going to go take him, and I'm going to tell him, Antu the Shaklase, you must have taken my thing. And he's going to make him make a shvua. You can make anybody really make a shvua. Right? And because he's saying, it's my lost item. This guy was the only one there. Okay, that's enough. Meaning, you're allowed, if you're 100% sure that something it belongs to you, you're allowed to make somebody make a shvua. If you're not 100% sure, then you can't make him make a shvua. So we're saying the guy is so confident that it was somebody, that it was his, he's going to go to Bezdin, and he's gonna nail the guy for taking it. But b'shloisha ain't a chayav la'aser. With three, he's not chayav to be master my time. Who the novel minei vade miyayish? Because the guy it fell from is definitely miyayish. Meimar Omar, he could say michti, trei havavadoi. There were two people with me. Ina kitna la'ai. If I'm gonna take on this one, Amar loy shakaltis. Yeah, I didn't take it. Pina kitna la'ai. I'm gonna go off the other guy. Amar loy shakalti. I didn't take it either. All right, so Mamela, all three. When he has three people there, then then there's Giyush, which is exactly what this Gemara is saying, that when there's three guys in an Airbnb, the Mamela, there's going to be Giyush. Fine. Right? So now Rava says a bunch of important dinim with well, the first one is not so important, but the next one is Amar Rava. This that we said by three, you're not mechuyev to give it back. And the last pay shava pruta l'chol chad v'chad, where there isn't a shava pruta to each one. Right? Meaning you have three people, and each one has less than a shava pruta. I will ispe shava pruta, but if they have a shava pruta, l'chol chad v'chad, to each and every one, chayiv lahachse, he's chayiv to give it back. My timer aimer shutfinenu v'loy meyashu. Let's say that they were partners, and nobody was meyayish. Meaning, if there's a shava pruta to each one, then they're going to say they're all shutfim, and they're going to look out. They're going to look out for it, right? Because again, he's not going to be miyayish because he has his partners there, so he limits that case. Fine. Ikadamri Amar Rava Avagav the lespe el shava shtei prutas. And the Ikadamri is saying it's going on the case of two. Avagav the lespe el shava shtei prutas. Even if it's only worth two prutas, I'm sorry, it's not going on two, it's going on three, right? Again, I'm sorry. Avagav the lespe el shava shtei prutas. Chayv lachs, he's chayv to give it back. My time, aimer shutfin. We could say that they were shutfim. And one of them is meichelit to his friend, right? So Mamela wants sons they're Michael, so you have the same case of shutfis with the rest of them, right? Okay, fine. Let's say I don't know how practical this is because normally you find something in the street you don't know who dropped it, but let's say you actually saw somebody drop it. You saw it fall. Not the listen, and let's say he takes it before the guy had time to be meyayish. Amanas legaizla, and he took it and he says, I'm keeping this. So then he's over bekulan. He's over on all of the averis. What does that mean? Mishum loy sigzal. Because he stole. Because he took it before the guy was miyayish. Mishum hashev tishivim, and that you have to give it back. Umishum loy suchal lesalim. And there's a lav in the Torah that you're not allowed to hide your eyes from giving somebody a lost object, even though it's a pain. As we've been seeing throughout this perek, it's a pain to have to find a lost object. Right? So you're not allowed to just not look. It doesn't work like that. The entire Samashpacha works like that. It doesn't work like that in right? It doesn't work like that by Metzias. So you're going to be again if you see it fall from the guy and you don't pick it up, or I'm sorry, you pick it up with in mind to keep it, then you're over on three lavim. Let's say,
why do we call this Geneva? Why would it be Gazelle? I thought Gazelle is done in a brazen way where the man sees you stealing it from her. Gneva's more surreptitious, whatever the word is.
You mean
Right? Didn't we
why
find,
is it
don't you
calling?
say Gazela is you walk over to somebody, you grab his wallet, he's the way you stole it. That's your, whereas I thought Gneva is where you do it in a secret way. The guy has no idea that he dropped his wallet. You're both walking in a forest and you see him drop it and he has no clue and no one else has seen it. So isn't that more like Gneva? I'm just curious. I understand. It's a Gazela. I don't know.
Okay, okay, I hear it. Shouldn't be called that. Maybe it's still
The lav
sneaky.
is
Well, it's not really sneaky.
lav is
It's not.
Lysigna. Lysigna is talking about kidnapping.
Ganav. Okay. What's a gozel? A gozel is somebody who does it. Remember,
Oh, you're right.
That,
Actually, you're right. There's a difference between Geneva and Gazela. But as
right.
far as
It's a side question. It's not gonna, not gonna derail the whole shit. I know, but I just was wondering why they call it gazela. Okay.
because as far as the lav is, it is Lysigzoil. There's no Lysignoid for Geneva. Lysigzoil is the lav for Gazela and Geneva.
Okay, so it's okay. That could be. That would explain it.
Why? Isn't one of the 10 Commandments Lo Tignov?
No.
Yeah, that's
What do you mean,
Lysignoid.
no?
To do with it.
Guys, we gotta make mincha over here. Mincha.
That's referring to kidnapping.
Sulit. Right. Sulit.
Yeah. That's referring to kidnapping from the Ten Commandments.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyways, no, that's a good kasha. Thank you. But anyways, and even though he decides, see, it's interesting because we just finished on Amud Aleph saying a guy's never going to change his mind and he's not giving it back. And here all of a sudden he is changing his mind. And let's say even if he gives it back after years, he say, okay, so he shouldn't have been over. Matana, who becomes a present, who the Yavle, it's a matana that he gave. The surah the avad, and the isser that he did, meaning it's too late. Now it's as if he's just giving him a matana. It's not like returning the Geneva.
I mean, there's no
So
tshuva for it. There's no tshuva.
I imagine he could ask Mechila or something like that, but he's still going to be over on the, theoretically, if there were Adam and all that, he would get Makas, I'm assuming. That's what I would assume. Right?
There's twice the saying
Fine.
maybe. Twice says.
I think it's a lot of
Dad, we're not doing Taisus in Mincha time. There's no Taisus when people have to daven.
Wait a minute, it's a Lavanitic Laseh, what normally Geneva is.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you're talking about Taisus that it's only talking about Lesucha Lesalim.
Yes.
Right. Taisus, right, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Right? Yeah, he'll be done with, because he'll do Hashem Teshivim, right? But again, but I don't think that's so pashut, that whole thing. How would we Anachanami, if you hold not like Taisus, then I don't know exactly how it works. Fine, let's see. But let's say he took it before Yush, but he was planning on giving it back. But then he changed his mind to the worse. He said he's going to steal it. So then over Mishum Hashev Teshivim, he's only over on Hashev Teshivim, that you have to give it back. But he didn't steal it because he didn't take it illegally from the guy. He took it legally from the guy. Only when he changed his mind, and that's not called a Geneva. There's a lot of lumdus over here. And also, it wasn't like Sucha L'Salim, because when he picked it up with the das to give it back. Right? Fine. Let's say he waited until the Baal was Miyayish, and then he took it. Meaning, there's a certain share of Yush, especially if it would be money, it's pretty fast. So he waited. Then, once the guy's Miyayish, that's when he picked it up. Right? So he's a smart guy. So then, because then he didn't have the Geneva issue. So, but he's still over on the Isser, because you have to try. and return something to someone. Fine. Amar Rava. I actually had it tonight by the Purim Suda. Yerushalmi guy, with those big white gartelach. So I think he came in with one. Then I saw it on a yeshiva guy who was wearing a bathrobe with the Yerushalmi gartel. So I'm assuming that he took it from the Yerushalmi guy. Then I know the Yerushalmi guy left, and this guy still had the gartel. So I said to myself, I better get back this guy's gartel from this yeshiva guy. I said, okay, I'll take care of it soon. And then the yeshiva guy left. So now I just thought about today's daf. Like that was sort of, I saw it fall from a guy or the equivalent, and I did nothing about it. But I'm not 100% sure though that it came from. I'm like 99% sure. So now the question is, I know who the guy is. I mean, I don't know his context stuff, but I could easily find out. He probably himself doesn't even remember who he got it from. And the shaila is, am I now mechuyev to do this? Or am I over on an issur if I don't? I don't know, but I'm going to try and track him down. Right? But anyways.
Were they drunk?
And not drunk enough to not be. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, Omar Rava. I'm on the chazid the novel Zuzi Mechamri Bei Chilsa. So if a guy saw a friend drop money in the sand, right? He's on the beach and he sees him drop money. Ashkechei b'shakle, and he found the money and he took it. You're not mechuyev to give it back. My timer, why? The guy who it falls from is miyayish. Avagav the chazi the icy arbel of a kamaram. Even though you see the guy who lost the object going with like one of those metal detectors, searching the sand. You say, oh, he's not miyayish. He's still looking for this thing. No, he's still miyayish because he says, I lost it. I lost it on the beach. Forget it. But he's saying the same way it fell from me. So somebody else also did it, and I'll find his money. And I'll find something. Meaning, if you lost money in the ocean and the beach, so you're assuming other people also lost money in the beach. And therefore you'll just take it. Right? Meaning you could just take it because the guy is miyayish. All right, what time do we have? All right, let's do we can do the next Gemara. Matzah b'chadnos, if you find money in a store, also fairly common question. I don't know, common, but you say you find money laying in the store. People are going into their wallets and their pocketbooks and they drop $1 or $2. So whose is it? So matzah b'chadnos harei l'shalei belongs to the guy who found it. Right? Assuming that the Rashi says that doesn't have a siman. Yeah. But let's say you found it in between the checkout counter, that would be the teva, and the chenveni and the owner, then it belongs to the shel chenveni, because we're assuming it came from him. Lefnei shulchani, or a money changer, harelo shaloi, it belongs to him. Meaning, if it's in front of the money changer, we're assuming that the majority of the money is coming from him. Bein hakisei v'la shulchani, but if it's in between the table and the shulchani, I'm sorry. If it's found in front of the shulchani's table, the money goes to the person who found it, because the assumption is it came from somebody in the street, right? Between the kisei and the shulchani, then it goes to the money changer. Somebody takes fruit from his friend, or his friend sent him peiros. Right, so either he went to take, or they sent him. And he found money inside the fruit. I don't think it means inside the actual fruit. It means inside the cluster or the bunch. It belongs to him. But if they were tied up, then he takes it and he has to call it out. Because it's like we know with money, tied up money is more important. Whatever, it's more of a simon. So Gemara, not only are we saying that the money belongs to the customer if it's in front of the table, but even on the table, right? Because if a guy leaves his money on the table, he's for sure going to be Metzia das. He says, forget it, it's a money changer's money table. Right? Why would anybody think that he lost his money? So Tanan, the Fnei Shulchani, Arei Shalai. If it's in front of the Shulchani, it belongs to him. Oh, Al Gabi Shulchan, the Shulchani. If it's on the table, it's mashman, then it goes to the Shulchani. Ema Seifa, but what about the Seifa? Bein Akisi Shulchani, between the chair and the Shulchani, it goes to the Shulchani. Oh, Al Gabi Shulchan. It belongs to the guy who found it. You can't bring a raya from the Mishnah in either direction. Okay, but Rebbe Lazar Haminole. How does Rebbe Lazar know this din that on the table it's considered lost also? So Amarava Masnisin Kashirsi, the Mishnah was a Kasha Meir, he's a Tani Peina Kisi L'Shulchani. Why does the Mishnah say that it's talking about between the chair and the Shulchani? Shal Shulchani, then it goes to the money changer. Listen, Al Shulchan. Why don't you just say the case that if it's found on the table? Right? Inami matzah b'shulchanos, or if it was found in the shulchanos, is like in the store, in the money changer store. Like it said in the Resha that it's talking about in the store. Matzah b'chanos shaloi. Meaning, why is the Gemara changing its case? Why not just say you found it in a shulchani store, right? Or say it was found on the table. We hear from this that even if it's found on top of the shulchan, it belongs to him. So Rebbe Lazar is saying a big chiddush, because I wouldn't have said this. I would say that if you find money, don't you have to first see if it belongs to the shulchani? We're saying no, there's yish, and the guy gets to keep it. Okay, fine. Let's just do the last Gemara. Right, again, this is talking about you took payers from your friend, you find money in it. That's only if you take it from the actual business guy, right? But if you take it from the balabayas, I'm sorry, from the taggers, like the agent, he's not he's a reseller. Let's call him a reseller. But if he takes it from the balabayas, well, he has to give it back. Imagine if you get an order from a restaurant, there's money in it, so you would go and ask the store owner what happened. That's only when you took it from a reseller who doesn't know exactly where he's getting his product from, and why should you think he's getting the money from somebody? I would say that the difference here would be if it was found like inside something commercial, as opposed to something that comes from like a Hamish restaurant or a restaurant. Meaning, if it's coming from something commercial, so what's your chances of anything getting in there? Mashaying from a restaurant, you have no idea. Maybe, or from a fruit store, so you have no idea where he could have gotten his fruit from many different people. If he takes it from Balabayas, he's chayav to be mastered. Does the Balabayas do the threshing? Right, meaning the Balabayas doesn't do the work himself; he has workers. So maybe it's their money, and it should be Yush. Amarle, she said to him, Ismay, should I erase it? Right, should I erase it? Amarle said, Loi, don't erase it. The Targum Asnisin, let's say the Mishnah is talking about talking about where the work was done. They didn't have Jewish employees. He had non-Jewish employees. Right? And Mamela, they never had it. Anything that a non-Jewish employee has, right, and Kanani, automatically goes to his owner. So Mamela, there's no chance that this thing belonged to a guy. All right, we'll stop over here.
We're talking about